Yes, welcome back to another special combat sports episode. Ball and Buds, what happened? You good? Okay. Ball and Buds, we are here. You see it. It is yours truly, Omar, the sports professor Fonseca, along with one of his main mans, and the most expert combat sports UFC analyst in the world, Clubber D, the Combat G. What is going on today, my brother?
You know, it's your main man. You know, I'm always here. I see. Shout out to Flo. You know what I'm saying? Flo's popping up on Facebook. You know, for Bottom Line Sports, he's putting up all these new things, and he just put up the Frank Martin versus Shakur Stevenson fight. We're gonna get on that a little later, but trust me, Flo, we got you. We got you.
Flow with
because I got insiders about that fight. Don't worry about that, Omar. We'll get to that.
Yes. Well, that was a great start and a great shout out. So first of all, as you know, we are Ball and Bud. You can always catch Clubber D and myself. Go ahead and subscribe to our YouTube at Ball and Buds. That's BALLANDBUDS. You may be on there now. You can also go to Facebook and join the Bottom Line Sports. So the Bottom Line Sports. Join our Facebook group. As Clubber D was saying, Flo does a masterful job with all the sports news. We be on there talking crap to each other. So if you enjoy sports and BSing, come on and join us at the Bottom Line Sports on Facebook. Shout out to my Bottom Line Sports group.
Heavy with the Cowboys talking that sports the webpage. I mean, that's heavy Cowboys stuff. They just had a little podcast earlier. I don't know why they want to waste some people's times, but I don't know what Flo's doing with that. I don't know.
Shout out to Alan Peralez and Let's Talk Cowboys. He's a Bottom Line guest. Anyways, you can catch the Bottom Line Sports as well. Sundays, our new time, 7 p.m. Well, same time, but Sundays for sure. We're going to come after your day games of the NFL and preview your night games. So forget ESPN prime time. Come join the Bottom Line.
Yeah, that was a bar right there, too. I like that. That was a bar.
And while I'm at it, let me go ahead and just show where I'm at. Clubber D knows where I'm at.
Woo!
But I'll see the palm trees. Yeah. Puerto Rico, baby. Your main man is back home chilling. Got to see my grandma today. By the way, She shouts out the show. She said she watches it, even though she doesn't know English, but she watches us and she said she loves it. She actually went to So check this, Clubber. We were going back to her house to drop her off, so my mom could take her car because we had a rental. And we stopped at this little bar called El Mariachi. And we went in there and everybody knew her. Like she'd be going there drinking beers or whatever. And so she started pointing out the shirt. And she was like, Ball and Buds. And she was like telling everybody. I was like, I don't think they care, Grandma.
Yeah, they don't care. You know, and back when I was down there not long ago, you know, she's practicing Sheridan doing salsa dancing when I was there, you know, because they had to call me out. I actually got flown down there a couple of times before. They had a salsa contest, and they needed El Negro to jump on there and jump on a dance floor. So that's what I did. So that was me back in the day. But what you sipping on, brother? What you sipping on?
Hey, check this. We are not sponsored by them, but we could be at some point. This is the national beer of Puerto Rico, Medalla Light, my friends. And my friend, what are you sipping on today?
I had to match a little bit with the Puerto Rico stuff. There you go, Don Q. You know what I'm saying? This is an aged rum and sherry cast. Shout out to my main man LeVar, who brought it back from Puerto Rico when he went down there. So you know what I'm saying? I'm sipping on a little bit of that and some Cherry Coke Zero. Tastes pretty good.
There you go. Shout out LeVar. You know you're not going to give up the commissionership of our fantasy football league, so stop asking. And by the way, also shout out to the Malave clan, Papo, Abe, Bajo, and Guadio, also hailing
from Puerto Rico. So. Love the Malaves.
All right, we've done enough introductions. Y'all didn't come for all of that, but we like to have a little fun. So let's get started. UFC 293 is tonight, hailing from Sydney, Australia, which I've never been to, but I believe you have, haven't you?
Yeah, I've been there a couple of times. I was down there for Holly Holmes' fight when she beat Ronda Rousey not long ago, a couple of years ago. But I was there for that fight. I was sitting third row. Like I was in front of Crocodile Dundee, Paul Hogan himself. And I was going to see, I was like, hey, man, move your big ass hat. His hat was in the way. And then he moved, and then there was a big knife. And he said, you call that a knife? I said, bro, move the hell out the way. But he was there. You know, him and the Helmsworth brothers, you know, Chris and Liam, they were there. And their shorter brother that's on the Westworld. He was there too. But you know, I'm Australia. They know me out there. You know what I'm saying? They're my peoples. But you know what I'm saying? Shout out to Canteen also. Well, I'm here. We here. We talk about UFC. 293. We need a place to be, just like Clubber D.
Let's go, Flo Cantina, my man, Hot Take Jake. That being said, yeah, that was actually UFC 193. 100 of them ago was that Rousey fight. So I did not know you were there. That's awesome.
Yeah, I was there. I had hairline too.
Yeah. Back then, I mean, I guess that would have been like 5 years ago. So that being said, let's get into it today. We got the big main event. Israel Izzy Adesanya, hailing out of New Zealand, versus American Sean Strickland. Now, we will get into that in a second. We're going to do the main event last, but there's one that I know is special in your heart, my friend, and that is Tui Taivasa versus Volkov. And my question for you, my friend, to start this off is, will Tui get a shoey tonight?
Oh, my God. All right, people, if you guys do not know what a shoey is when somebody takes another person's shoe. So if I go to you and take your mother's slipper, the house slipper she walks around the house with, if I take that, pour a beer in it, and then drink like so. I wouldn't advise doing that because a lot of y'all have stinky, dusty feet, and it probably smells like corn. So I wouldn't advise doing that to someone else or someone doing that to your shoe. But I would only reserve that for me, for only Beyonce, Rihanna, or Oprah. You heard it here first. But he's fighting against Volkov. Volkov is a tall, rangy fighter. I think he's like 6'8", 6'9". He's a tall guy. Lanky, very good kickboxer. You got Tui. Tui likes to bang. You know what I'm saying? He likes to put them dukes up and knock you upside the head. He's not going to wrestle you. He's not. He's no frills. He's just going to put them dukes up right across your head. Pause if needed. But
reckless.
He's fighting at home. He loves the home crowd. The Nelk boys are going to be there. Everyone's going to be there. And it's the Nelk. The guys do the pranks. The Nelk boys. Okay. Yeah.
They said the Nut Boys. I was like,
hey yo, what's going on here? But yes, I would spit that out too. But but this fight, it's going to be a stand-up slobber knocker. A shout out to man Jim Ross. It's going to be one of those type fights. Volkanov, he could use his range and keep him at bay, and Tui could walk into something. But Volkanov has a suspect chin. If you guys remember or seen those ads for Derek Lewis talking about his balls are hot, that fight was the same card as Khabib versus McGregor. He knocked out Volkanov in the third round, so his chin is suspect. So he can get knocked out if you touch him in that chin. Okay, so I feel a club banger coming up. I feel it coming. I feel it coming, Omar. You know what I'm saying? I'll be ready. You heard that noise.
Clubs bangers.
Oh.
Clubs bangers.
Oh. I got nervous. I thought the Exorcist was coming.
Club bangers.
I got Tui first round. You know what I'm saying? And,
what? So you think they're just going to come out and throw some haymakers and just throw the town on each other and he's just going to catch him?
He's going to feel the energy of the crowd. I think this guy likes big crowds. His last fight, when he fought Cyril Gane over in France, was pretty bad. But I feel like he's going to be rough and ready. You know what I'm saying? And he's gonna get him. I feel it. You know what I'm saying? And I'm not telling you to bet because we're not sponsored yet. Okay, so I'm not telling you to bet. I'm not telling you to go out there, take your shekels and go on a FanDuel or whatever you have at your neighborhood. Maybe you got a bookie down the street. You got Peg Leg Jag or somebody like that. But I'm not telling you to bet. I'm just saying I'm going with Tui first round knockout. You heard it here first.
You and I are living right.
Clubs bangers.
You heard it. Oh, the music. I heard it. I was getting a little nervous with the music.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, we got our new club banger music.
Oh, before we even go forward, this is the most important reason why I wanted to talk about this. Shout out to my brother from another, Mike Wiebe, member of the team. He has now entered the CPAP Society. Sent me the picture the other week. He's part of the CPAP crew. He's part of the distilled water, okay? He's doing the distilled water every 2 weeks. He has a CPAP like myself. If you don't know what a CPAP machine is, it's that machine with the hose and everything connected to it. Just look at your wife's bedroom on the nightstand. That's mine, or your mother's. That's mine, okay? I have an Apple AirTag on it, so I know where my CPAP machines be at. Don't try to move it. I know where you live, literally. But yeah, my man Mike Whitby, he's part of CPAP Brotherhood. Him, my brother, Omar be faking like he don't want to use his. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to everybody who got CPAP machines. Put your hoses in the air.
Shout out to Big Rube, my pops. He also is a CPAP.
Oh, love
we
you,
all
Rube.
are.
You too.
So.
My dad doesn't wear his.
So we got a me and your dad are like, oh, good old Coltrane Willie. The Bottom Line Sports Flow says Clubby needs a special shoey for that prosthetic toey.
Okay, so I don't know with this why. Let's with the whys on stuff. Okay, don't you worry about CD Lamb's toe and Pollard's toe, but let's not. Okay, we're not gonna talk about my prosthetic toe. All right, everybody knows that I got in a ski accident a long time ago, back in the mid-90s. I have a prosthetic toe. I got a fake. It's whatever, but I can still move and groove. I do my thing. I hit the gym today. I was doing little wind sprints with my prosthetic toe. The toenail was little. It does get a fungus sometimes because I get that from Brazil, and I put that on like a lace front. But that's another story from either here nor there. But yeah, let's keep it rocking and rolling. Flo, I got you.
All right. Well, after that, let's go ahead and get into it. The main event of the evening: Israel Adesanya. Again, he makes his first title defense of his second UFC middleweight champion reign. As we know, he did get KO'd by Alex Pereira to lose it, came back and beat him to win it back, and now he is making his first title defense. He is ranked number 4 in ESPN's pound for pound UFC fighters. He is fighting Sean Strickland, who is ranked number 8 and has won 2 fights in a row and 8 of his last 10. So, my friend, what are your initial thoughts on this main event?
Well, if you look at this fight, you got Sean Strickland. He's 27-5. Okay, you got Izzy, who's 24-2. Only one loss at 185. The other loss was at 205 when he fought Jan Blachowicz. When he's going to he was daring to be great and find a 205 champion, moving up in weight. I think he walks around maybe at 201. He's very skinny. He doesn't weigh that much. So you look at Sean Strickland. Who are their common opponents? Okay, common opponents. You got Jared Cantonier and Alex Pereira. I always butchered his name. So Sean Strickland lost to both of these guys. All right, Izzy beat both. Of course, he lost to Pereira, but came back and knocked him out in his last fight to get his belt back. Sean Strickland got KO'd. I mean, he got put to sleep. Like he got hit and thought he was Frodo and put the ring on. Like he went into the afterlife. He was over there somewhere. His head twisted around. He was doing exorcist stuff, but. You got Sean Strickland. Okay, so he's a pressure fighter. He likes to put a lot of pressure, kind of like Martin Vettori, who Izzy beat twice. And when you're that type of fighter, you're easy to get caught by a seasoned pro like a kickboxer. You know what I'm saying? They're going to pick you apart, and the pressure is not going to get to Izzy because he won the title from Robert Whittaker in the same arena. So Izzy, this is going to be his 5th title defense, but you can say 6 because he won the interim against Kevin Gastelum. He beat him, and then he beat Robert Whittaker to win the belt. So technically, it's his 5th title defense, but he's fought with that belt around his waist 6 times. Izzy's what is he? He's 7 out of his last 9 in fights. Only losses were to Jan Blachowicz and then Alex Pereira. Sean Strickland, like I said before, he's a very good pressure fighter, but going against Izzy. Did any of you guys see the press conference? I'll wait, but I won't. He was calling him Chinaman, calling him out for having painted fingernails, wearing his ex-girlfriend's, basically making fun of his ex-girlfriend wearing that T-shirt. Kind of trying to get under his skin, but it wasn't working. Like, you ever been somewhere where someone says one funny joke, but they keep with the same joke over and over and over? That's how Sean Strickland was at that press conference. He was calling Izzy the king of cringe. I'm like, bro, you kind of cringy yourself, my man. Like, what do you? Chill out. It's kind of funny, but it's not funny. You're just like those fake ha-ha laughs when you're at your in-laws' house, acting like you care about them. So what I will say is, for this fight.
Now, I do real quick before you go into that. Izzy owns a 3-inch height advantage and a 3-inch reach advantage.
That's correct.
I know that you already, think not as highly of Sean Strickland than Izzy. But obviously that does play a part. It does have a big effect in these sort of fights, especially if you have someone who's a pressure fighter, with Izzy being able to play the defense a little more and catch him with, comebackers and hooks and things like that. What do you foresee that advantage portraying for him?
So he can go about this many ways. He can basically pick him apart by taking out inside leg kicks. He can do outside leg kicks. He can just keep him at bay with a jab and catch him with an overhand or a hook or something like that. When you're a pressure fighter, you're leaving yourself open to things you're not even seeing. Kind of like when Earl Spence fought Crawford. You're going to get hit with something you're not even paying attention to and don't even know. So you got to be mindful being a pressure fighter. And mind you, he got knocked out 4 fights ago going against Pereira. In that press conference back then, all his jokes and everything were towards Izzy, saying, "Oh, you got pain in nails. Oh, you masturbate to anime," which is documented. And yes, Izzy does that. It's judging but not judging. But yeah, so Izzy told him, focus about him, don't focus about me. And of course, first round, he went to sleep. So that same thing can happen against Izzy. He fought Jared Cannonier right after that and lost in a split decision. It was close. It was a close fight, but he lost the fight. And then his last fight, the guy was a stand-in, and he took him out in punches. Sean likes to talk. He's like Kevin Holland, likes to talk a lot while during the fight's happening. Like, oh yeah, come on, this is all you got. Punch harder, stuff like that. I don't like those antics aren't going to work with Izzy. Izzy has so many kickboxing fights. You know what I'm saying? This guy was, when he went to China, shout out to my man Kevin who sent me the video. He was respected in China when he learned kickboxing because he was knocking mofos out. So they embraced him, and that's hard to do with someone who don't look like them and their culture. So Izzy is a high level kickboxer. You know what I'm saying? So Sean's not going to wrestle him. He's not going to take him down. So it's going to be. Should I do the banger right now? Should I do the banger? Third round KO Izzy. Third round.
Club
okay.
bangers.
I think he's going to play with him.
Bangers.
Oh, I heard myself. I heard it. I'm getting third round. You're muted. I'm getting the third round. So it's going to happen. You know what I'm saying? There you go.
You heard it here first from Clever D, the Combat G, your UFC combat sports expert for Ball and Buds, is predicting a third round KO for Israel Adesanya. Go ahead, hit up your bookie, your FanDuel, your DraftKings, whoever you use, and make sure you put that bet on an Izzy third round KO. Now, how is that KO going to happen, my friend?
You know, I feel it's going to be a punch. I don't know what type of punch, but it's going to be a punch he's not going to see coming, because I think that Izzy's going to be catching him early with a lot of inside or outside leg kicks, kind of slow him down a little bit. And I would have a clubber caveat, which I did the last fight, and I was dead on about this. But I'm so sure that Izzy will win. There's no clubber, there's no caveat in this one. Okay.
Wow.
I'm pulling it out. I'm saying nope, pulling it out. And trust me, people, when I pull out, my game is good, because if I didn't, you'd have a sibling or another child. But that's another story.
Oh, Lord, I don't get paid enough for this. I'm still honestly, I kind of blanked out there for a minute because I was still held up on what you said about him in anime. I was just like very, very
shout out to Larry and shout out to Snail. Shout out to both of them.
Yes. By the way, Snail says, did you see that wind sprints? He's making fun of your wind sprints. All right, we got a question in the. Oh, go ahead.
Oh no, you good. Go ahead. You good.
Okay, we got a question in the chat. Shouldn't Strickland be driving for low kick takedowns as well as making a greater effort to check with his knee? And would that help him in a possible victory?
It would help, but he likes to come straight at his fighter, and he wants to stand and bang. You know, he's not really a big wrestler per se. Like someone like Martin Vettori who fought Izzy. Izzy has decent takedown defense. So if he immobilizes you stops you from taking him down, your only option is to stay standing up. And I honestly don't see Strickland doing that. I really don't. You know, he's trying his best to get under Izzy's skin, because Strickland has a crazy background. You know, this dude was like, when he was a kid, he was writing neo-Nazi stuff. His I think his dad or stepdad was big time molded him to be like that. But he's honest with his stuff. He's like, in the press conference, I did a lot of dumb stuff as a kid, but as an adult, I don't stand for the X, Y, and Z. So I respect him for that, taking accountability. And and of course, it's that old saying. He does a podcast with I'm forgetting the youngest name, but a black dude, his training partner. But so he does have a black friend. But he just called Izzy out like Chinaman. Oh, you don't want to talk about China in the sweatshop. It's the same thing that most politicians do when it comes to that nature, when it comes to China. So I'm not even going to touch on that. But I just honestly don't see him doing that in this fight. I see this is going to be Izzy. First round's going to be and then second and third round's going to take him out.
I mean, I do agree because we obviously know that Izzy, like you said, right, he can move around. He's very dodgy, very shifty on the defensive end. But what kind of surprised, and it doesn't surprise me per se, just because Strickland is a pressure fighter, like you said, so he's going to be in his face trying to push the pace at all times. But Izzy, after he won that fight back in 2019 where he knocked out Whitaker, his next 5 185-pound fights, he only had 1 KO. So it's not like he's a knockout artist per se. So that kind of surprised me that you went with that instead of maybe something else like a submission or something.
And then let's not forget, back in 193 in Australia, okay, Holly Holm shocked the world. Okay, I was there. Ask her mother; she paid for my ticket. So this is 293. The 3's in there. All right. Okay. I'm going to say like this. That's where I get my 3 at. Okay. It's going to be 3 rounds that he's going to go out in. It's not going to be the same thing. This is 100 UFC main events later, and it's going to be a knockout, but not going to be the home team's going to win this time. Not that Rousey's from Australia. I just feel like the A side's going to win. It's not going to be the B side winning. And I like Sean Strickland. He's an entertaining fighter, but it's not going to happen. I'm sorry.
And Vegas agrees with you. Strickland is a 5-1 underdog. So
yeah, I know Vegas. I was hanging out with him and Fredericksburg last week. That's my people's right there.
Chances. Another question in the chat. Chances are the fight goes the distance, and it's not a 3rd round KO. Slim to none. Because they're both going to be throwing. Yeah.
Slim to none. I would if it go. You know what? I'm not gonna, I'm gonna pull from Hot Take Jake's Multiverse Sports Almanac. The Multiverse Sports Almanac is when you have a sports almanac from a different place. You know what I'm saying? Even Omar just got caught in the multiverse. He hopped out. He left. Now he's back. So the Multiverse Sports Almanac is basically you got an almanac. You didn't get it from Biff. You got it from Tiff. And this almanac has so many different things in it. So I'm gonna say in the Multiverse Almanac. Yes, the 5th round. That's different from the Club Banger. The Multiverse Sports Almanac is just something that's just not going to happen. You know what I'm saying? Like it's just I don't see it going 5 rounds. But if it does, you heard it here first. And whoever asked that question, I'll take credit for that.
That was Flo, and so let me make sure we've got the fans straight on this. You've got your Club Bangers, which are your predictions for the fights. You've got your Clubber Caveat, which Lunchbox Larry asked what that is, if you want to explain that.
Oh, I'll do that.
Fans.
Lunchbox Larry, that's the homie right there. Back in the 80s, we used to be hand dance partners back in the day. We used to tour place to place. That's the homie right there.
So you have the Clubber Caveat to cover your ass.
Yeah, basically.
Right?
So the Clubber the Clubber, hold on, I got you. The Clubber Caveat for Larry is basically if it's a tough fight and it's something hard to gauge what the hell's going to happen, the caveat is, oh yeah, this person will win via knockout. However, this person might win via submission if it's that close of a fight where there's a small chance that the opposite could happen.
It's a hedging of the bet.
Yeah, basically hedge of bets. Yeah.
For those of you. And now you have something totally new. The multiverse, never going to happen. Hot Take Jake, incorrect prediction of the day. That's what we're going to call that from now on.
Yeah, if anyone is a human that knows what Back to the Future is or seen Back to the Future, all 3 movies, if you haven't, slap your mother because it's her fault, not yours. I would say everyone knows what the sports almanac is. Okay, it's going back forward in time, seeing what happened in the past. So if you go to a multiverse, which is things are different, the opposite will happen. You know what I'm saying? Just like in that multiverse, you got let's say the Commanders being 8-time Super Bowl champs. That's a multiverse comment, okay? When Jake says that, who do you say?
The
Patrick
Lions
Mahomes?
are going 13-4.
Yeah, like that's multiverse. You got Can saying the Lions will win by 10 points, but giving y'all 14 points as an outcome. That's multiverse, okay? Anything is possible except addition sometimes, okay? Ken, you got to slow down. Can't slow down on the Hennessy. Anything is possible, but addition, that's not part of that realm of possibility. If you say they're going to win by 10 and then saying the final scores will be 13 points. Come on, brother.
I about died. I love you too, Cam, but I about died. And Flo said, "Do you know how to add?" I started out. I was like, anyways, all right, my boys. All right, let's go. That is the. You want to talk about any other fights on the card? I'm not sure if you did or not.
Yeah, I mean, this fight. I mean, when Carl France got out of the his fight, I forgot the homeboy's name, but this card's kind of weak. I mean, shout out to Tyson Pedro. This is gonna be his last fight. He's fighting at home in Australia. Good. He was a 205er. Shout out to him. You know, he had a great career. Fun to watch. But tune into that. I would say everybody tune into the fight. I got to talk to my publisher.
Lane too. Taffa and Lane are going to be Taffa and Lane.
Oh yeah, that's a rematch. Yeah. The first fight ended in the eye poke, and now those two are going at it. So I was gonna go down there and corner Taffa, but my prosthetic toe, I couldn't get the proper. I have a metal one now, so it's not plastic. It's metal. I couldn't fly with it, but it is what it is. We'll talk about issues with flying later when we get to boxing.
And that's a perfect segue because that is what we are going into now, y'all. Enjoy UFC 293. It will be a good card. Again, we didn't want to go into all the fights because we thought it was a little bit on the weaker side. We want to talk a little bit more boxing tonight. But we did get the main and co-main there. Remember, third round KO for Izzy and a first round KO for Tui Taivasa. Please don't do shoeies.
Don't do it.
Let that man handle that. There's COVID out there. There's like herpes and stuff. Just don't do it. It's just gross. Just don't do it.
A lot of y'all be doing moving on to shoes with Dr. Scholl's insults. Y'all inserts. You shouldn't be doing that, all right? You know what I'm saying? And to do a shoey, and they say you could taste probably tough acting, tenactin. I'm sure some of y'all have done that. So y'all footsie people out there. I hate feet. Feet are gross. I'm sorry. Feet are
just weird. Just weird.
Yeah.
But let's go ahead and move on. The Canelo versus Charlo fight is going to be September 30th, y'all. And we were going to go into it today and do our predictions. But Clubber D decided he wanted to do a special show for that. So look out for us Saturday. I believe it's the 30th. Let me check my date real quick just to make sure. It's the 30th. That is correct. So just be watching out for us there. We'll cover that as a special edition for the Canelo Charlo fight. But Clubber D did have a few notes on that fight that he wanted to go into. So again, it is the Super Middleweight Boxing Championship on September 30th between Canelo Alvarez and Jermell Charlo, both undisputed at their weight division. So, my friend, what do you have on this?
Yeah, so that fight, I mean, we're going to get more in depth because we've never seen anything like this, okay? Charlo's moving up 2 weight divisions. He's the 154 champ, and Canelo's 168 champ. So he's moving all the way up to fight him. Charlo's a bigger guy, has a bigger frame, but Canelo's mass is way too much bigger. So it's I'll get more in depth on that, but I will say the WBA is acting petty. I'm a fan of pettiness because I'm petty as all hell, but since Charlo didn't fight Tim Tszyu, who's Costa Tszyu's son, fighting out of Australia, boom, another Australia segue, they're stripping Charlo of the WBA belt the same day. So technically, if you want to be technical, it's not going to be a undisputed fight. Yeah, they're taking the belt from him. It's wild like that. They're doing all that. But
that's really dirty to do that.
Well,
I mean, that doesn't even represent you well, because then, I mean, wouldn't it make more money if they're both undisputed, right? Like, it's
not going to matter. Canelo's not going to defend. He's not going to fight. He's not fighting for those belts. So it's just more recognition. But I would say, yeah, I mean, unlike Haney got undisputed and defended his undefeated belts twice. So, it's different from getting undisputed and then just like, all right, I'm done moving up. But like Haney, that's my guy right there. But yeah, so the more news with the Charlo is his brother, Jermell. Jermell Charlo, as we know, is the 160-pound WBC champion, okay? This guy hasn't fought in 2 years, since 2019, okay? This is back when you guys this is back pre-COVID, okay, back before everyone had a mask on because your breath stunk. But so he hasn't fought in damn near 2 years, and he didn't look good that fight he had. So the reason why he had an interview talking about why he didn't fight Canelo, his brother's taking that fight. So what's crazy is that he's still champion, and WBC hasn't stripped him and given someone else that belt or given other folks a chance to fight for that belt, which is just bonkers to me. So he's been through a lot. We all know about him getting slapped by Caleb Plant. Caleb Plant on the I think it's the day before the Crawford versus Spence fight. Caleb Plant, he slapped the black off his face, and his hat went this way to that way. Okay, it wasn't like Alabama where it flew off. The guy said, "Oh, here we go, it's go time." He slapped him. The hat went that way, and then he tried to act like, "Hey, whoa, I don't want to fight." And then and then plus the stuff with his baby mama or his wife, like the issues they've been put online, and he's been going through a lot of mental stuff, getting to Jose Benavidez, trying to tell Bivol that I want to fight you when you're in another weight class. The dude's been off his rocker. So it's mental health, alcohol, things of those issues. But now, which is great, his trainer Ronnie Shields said, "You know what? You and your brother don't like each other. This is his twin. Him and his twin, they don't like each other." So he's moved from Houston, and now he's gone to I think Pensacola, Florida, and now he's training with Roy Jones Jr. He's already shown pictures of him back in the gym. Hopefully he gets his mind right. Hopefully he's getting back to what he does best in boxing. Okay, get away from all those distractions. Get away from your twin brother, which is wild. That's your twin brother. You don't rock your own brother. That's weird. I don't know, but so that's positive on that end. So that's why I want to report on the other Charlo.
I don't know many twins. I do know a couple of them, but twins especially, like that's just wild that you would not like be tight as anything. I mean, just brothers aside, but wow. Anyways, okay. Sorry, just wanted to.
Yeah, I mean, that's the reason why Caleb Plant and him got into it, because Caleb Plant was trying to break them up from fighting, and he had mushed Caleb Plant in the face, and Caleb Plant went over there and was like, "No, sir, Nashville zone." Slapped the black off his face. I thought he was Asian for a second.
So hold on. He was trying to stop two brothers from fighting. One of them got upset that he was trying to stop the two brothers from fighting, and got the black slapped off his face, as you correctly.
Pretty much. Okay. Like his credit score went all the way up, and I saw. I was like, "Oh shit, damn, he's light skinned now, goddamn." But yeah, so that happened.
I've never heard that. That's tremendous. All right, so wow, that's some crazy news. All right, so is there any other boxing news? I know you had a few other stories.
I got rounds in the chamber, man. I got rounds in the chamber. Okay, so shout out to Flo who posted Frank Martin and Shakur Stevenson going to fight for the basically they're fighting for the WBC belt at lightweight because Haney's moving on up. He's going to 140. He's going to fight Regis Prograis once they officially sign that. But got some bad news, Flo. The fight's off already. Literally, my inside sources already told me that PBC, Frank Martin is a fighter under Derek James, who trains the other Charlo, Jermell or Jamal. I always get him mixed up. He trains him. He fights He trains Anthony Joshua. He trains Earl Spence. Frank Martin, he's a PBC fighter, meaning he doesn't fight on ESPN like a top rank. That's Shakur Stevenson, who is half Puerto Rican, if you didn't know that, Omar. Yeah, he's half black, half Puerto Rican. He's like Canelo Anthony.
I didn't know that, but now he's one of my new favorite fighters. I really like him.
He's like Noriega and all of them, you know what I'm saying? He's half and half. But yeah, so that fight is off, apparently. It just happened probably like an hour ago. So I'm kind of pissed off because I was looking forward to that fight. I believe it was going to happen on November 16th. And I'm kind of mad because I just pray that Stevenson has the same energy that he's having for Haney about ducking him, for Frank Martin, and also have it for Lomachenko, because Lomachenko did a duck move also, because they got Lomachenko. He's fighting Kambosa early next year in 2024. So there's a lot of boxing ducking going on and a lot of fights that should not happen. Like you got Tank. They're already talking about Tank fighting Pitbull Part 2. Why the hell do we want to see Tank versus Pitbull? Nobody cares about that fight. I like Tank, but fight somebody good.
Right.
Okay, you got Shakur.
Yeah.
Yes, like you beat him with a broken hand. He looked garbage when you fought Ryan Garcia, who you shouldn't have fought. Why are you fighting Pitbull again? Okay, like all these Tank fans, they're like Earl Spence fans and hardcore LeBron fans. I'm not getting on LeBron because I like LeBron, but some of the fans are just they act like they're getting his money too. Like no, Tank should be fighting top people. Pedraza was the only dude Tank fought. Leo Santa Cruz, if you believe that was a good fight, you might be a casual fan. I'm not going to disrespect you, but Leo Santa Cruz was washed when Tank gave him that uppercut and he seniored and went to sleep. So I feel like if he fights Pitbull Part 2, I'm a little pissed off because Shakur can't get a fight. And I think Shakur, he wants to fight Haney, but he wants a certain amount of money. Look here, sir. When you were at 130, you were a champion, a unified champion. You lost your belts on the scale before you moved up. All right. Haney was making a lot more money, took less money to go to Australia twice to become undisputed and then defend it in Australia. Took less money to do that. So, sir, don't act like you deserve X, Y, and Z. You haven't done A, B, and C. So let's calm that down. Okay? Let's calm it down some. That's my problem with Shakur Stevenson. He's a great fighter. I love him. Up and coming. Him and Keyshawn Davis representing 757. That's Virginia. Those are good fighters, but don't act like you should deserve you're up here because you're not. And this fight was going to be in Vegas the same weekend as the Formula One race in Vegas. So I was watching CJ Goodfellas Sports TV. He's a good podcaster and YouTube page, and he brought up a good point. If they're having Formula One racing in Vegas, which is that what was that Mauro Andretti, that fast stuff, they're shutting down Vegas for that. Why are two black fighters fighting out there? They don't care about that. What are they doing? Why are you having that in Vegas? He brought up a good point. Shakur Stevenson sells out in Vegas. Sells out in Jersey. He sells out in Atlanta. Had the fight on the East Coast. Okay, I understand Frank Martin. He's from Michigan, I believe. Trains in Houston. Okay, fight in Houston. Fight in Vegas. Fight at Patriot Center. I don't care. Just fight. But it's not going to happen. If you know about the Patriot Center, all the locals.
Shout out Snare.
Oh, something's wrong with your audio. Your audio is a little messed up. You sound like Optimus Prime or a Blitzkrieg, but I'll keep yapping until you fix that. But yeah, so that fight should. I don't understand why that fight is not going to happen, but we'll see. And Omar, the biggest news in boxing is really Terrence Crawford's trainer. You know, Earl Spence has already activated the rematch, so they're saying December. And I'll get to Earl Spence in a second. But Bomac, who trains Chris Eubanks, had his rematch with Liam Smith and over out in London. I was actually at that fight. You know what I'm saying? I was hanging out with the cast from Top Boy. That's a show on Netflix. If y'all don't watch that, watch it. You know, I was out there. You know, so I was hanging out. Me, Paddington Bear.
Did you see my boy Paddington? Yes, you saw
Paddington.
Oh, yeah,
trust me. Paddington, I was hanging out with him. I gave him a new yellow hat. You know what I'm saying? We was out there with the peacoat and everything. But we was over there. Were you singing?
Did you know? Fun fact, everyone. Did you all know that Paddington the bear was not originally from London? He was originally from Peru, and he immigrated to London.
Really?
Yeah.
So he's like all the Jamaicans and Nigerians that are out there too. Okay,
it's a true fact.
Shout out to my cousin CJ. You know, hopefully he's watching right now. I'm from Atlanta. He's from out there in London. So it's my aunt Vicky. Shout out to them. I love them. But
shout out.
Yeah, exactly. Deep cut. But so Bomac was out there. Chris Eubank looked phenomenal. Okay, which is crazy because Chris Eubank's dad, ex-fighter, is a cop out there, and Eubanks tries to fly back, and he gets caught with a firearm in his luggage. So he's in jail until I think he's going to get seen October 4th or 11th. So this man is in jail. He's been in jail for a week already. This is Terrence Crawford's trainer. Okay. So I don't know how that's going to play out because the stories are not everybody knows what the story is, but they're saying that initially he was okay. And then they checked his bag again and they found the firearm. So I don't know if it's some funny stuff going on, but I can't imagine Bomac would be that stupid to bring a firearm.
And that's what I was about to say. And there's
no way.
That's what I. Am I sounding better? By the way,
you're perfect. You're perfect. You're good.
Okay.
You're good.
That's what I was thinking. Because I'm sorry, I don't own a gun because I'm too reckless and I would probably shoot someone, so I just do it for safety reasons. But if I did own a gun, I damn sure would know to check every single bag before I was going to an airport. Like
Exactly.
the one thing you need to do. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, you're absolutely right. I mean, I believe he flew private, so I don't know. Usually I fly private also because I can bring my CPAP on and sleep while you other suckers are in coach. But yeah, I do that sometimes. But I don't understand why if he purchased a firearm, over there and thought he could bring it back. Maybe it was something from World War I, World War II. Maybe he got something from Lennox Lewis's personal stash or Prince Nassim Ahmed. Who knows? I don't know. Don't care. My thing is this: why would you think you can get away with it and bringing it back? So I'm thinking somebody set him up. I'm putting that's a club caveat right there. Somebody set him up because there's no way Bo Mack is that dumb.
Hey,
no way.
First of all, I just want to make sure we put a very, very qualifier on that. This is an irresponsible rumor, unfounded, untrue,
all allegedly.
Conspiracy. Thank you. Alleged conspiracy theory to plant a firearm in Bud Crawford's trainer's bag in order to get him arrested, so that possibly he loses to Earl Spence. Is that
This is what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna be like Charlie from that meme that everyone does on Always Sunny in Philadelphia. Okay, we look at the draft board and say, "Oh my God, what's going on?" So this is what I'm gonna say. Earl Spence. There's pictures of Earl Spence overseas vacationing with his baby mother or wife or whatever it is, a lovely young lady. Shout out to him and his family. But Earl Spence, he activated his rematch clause and he looks hella out of shape. He looks very out of shape. Okay. If they're supposed to fight in December, they already had to move his camp from Dallas out to Vegas because he was already going to day parties when he's supposed to be training, the early stages of training for Terrence Crawford. Okay. So, I saw a story of Uganis Ugas saying, "Oh, that's not the same Earl Spence I fought," because apparently Terrence Crawford, he trains with I think a Snatch. I think it's Victor Conte, basically the Balco guy. He has a company called Snatch for athletes, and he's like trying to say something fishy.
Wow,
he's trying to say something fishy. However, okay, this fight was heavily. This is why I say Earl sexuals, because they're like Braun sexuals. They're trying to say, "Oh, well, he's tied with Victor Conte." First of all, they drug tested the hell out of this fight. Okay, Terrence Crawford was all for this. Earl Spence is the one who doesn't drug test that much for fights. All right, so put your blame somewhere else. I don't want to hear that mess. Wow. Learn boxing. Okay, so that it's the Earl sexuals are all over the place. They like to say this stuff. Look, the man got beat by a better person. Terrence stays working out, stays in the gym. This guy loves to fight. Like when Earl takes these little breaks before he fights, that's some fighters can do that, some can't. Terrence Crawford likes to stay active, and he actually
Crawford beat him so badly he made his ass gain weight.
Exactly, like because they're going to fight. If people don't know, they're going to be fighting at 154 instead of 147. And there's a rumor that Earl Spence is going to bring in Jerron Boots Ennis, Philly fighter who's a beast, going to be his sparring partner because he's a southpaw, But I highly doubt Ennis is going to be his sparring partner. I don't believe that. I don't think he's going to do that. I honestly don't think he's going to do that.
And a follow-up question that really is on everybody's mind since Earl Spence did get beat down by Crawford. Why? Not why would he take the rematch? He's obviously going to take the rematch, and obviously there's some sort of time frame, whether it's 6 months, a year, whatever, for you to activate that. But why so soon after getting his butt whooped would you want to come back to a second butt whooping? I mean, I can't imagine anything's going to drastically change in 2 months.
Well, he had no legs in that fight. His legs just weren't with him. And kind of like the Liam Smith fight against Eubank that happened last week. The weight gain with the extra pounds, it might help him out a little bit to get your legs together, but it's not going to make up for the whole you're not used to someone hitting you from angles you're not even seeing. He's like Sean Strickland, just to bring it back to that against Izzy. He's a pressure fighter. Earl Spence likes to come at you, and Crawford can just fight anybody. He can fight any style. This man is he's one of my favorite fighters of all time. He will dismantle you. Okay, he'll hit you with something you're not seeing. When you're going like this or you go like that, he's gonna hit you here and here. Okay, it reminds me of someone's mother's. You know what? I'm not gonna say what I hit them with, but so my thing is, it's just there's levels to this stuff. Okay, there's levels to fighting. All right, you could be your Mike Tyson, I'm gonna knock you out, or you could be your Floyd Mayweather, who's gonna great defense and gonna pick you apart. Okay, there's different levels to this. Spence was just more of those. I'm gonna come at you. I'm gonna give you a lot of punches, and that sounded reckless. I'm gonna come at you, give you a lot of punches, and you're probably gonna submit to all this because remember, Earl Spence broke like 5 people's orbital sockets. You know what I'm saying? Danny Garcia, Chris Algieri, you guys, Kell Brook. I forgot the other guy's name. He broke his orbital socket because he likes to press you. He's gonna hit you on that side. But Crawford, he's gonna break you down. You know what I'm saying? By maybe the first round, like if you look at the fight again, Earl Spence won the first round. I'll give him that. But after the second, he knocked him down at the end of the second round. It was all Crawford after that. That's it.
Yeah. Oh yeah. It definitely was. Yeah. No, he started out strong, and then after that first round, it went downhill very, very quickly. That being said, let's go ahead and move into our mailbag because this first question actually segues perfectly with what you were just talking about. So, actually, hold on. Plane coming.
Oh, that's my cousin. That's my cousin Landon. My brother Derek's about to land down too. You know what I'm saying? He's about to land because it's about to get dark soon there. So that's why he's coming because he got to blend in with the background. Shout out to Derek.
He's bringing the hurricane with him. Shout out.
Hey, Derek coughed the other day and train smoke came out. So he's that black.
The hurricane is not here yet, but my dad wanted me to show the ocean. So look at that.
There it is.
Beautiful view. Look at that. That's what I'm looking at right now. Yeah, look at that. All right.
And if you walk to that beach, you'll see a better view.
Oh, I'm about to. I've been seeing some very portend views, if you know what I mean.
Hey, leave some of my future ex-wives alone, okay? From Humacao to Carolina, all the way to Caguas, all the way to Ponce. Leave my future ex-wives alone, okay?
Wepa.
That's right.
All right. So it actually segues perfectly into the first mailbag question because you've been talking about Terrence Crawford, the fight that he had with Earl Spence, all these other possible fights that could happen, right? With boxing, it's always the possible. It's always,
pretty much.
It's always a fantasy kind of matchup until you really get it. So this question comes from Bud number 1 P4P, which is Bud number 1 pound for pound. So I assume is a Crawford fan. He said that there was a story that came out, which we both heard, that Crawford, if he were to, get past his next opponent and Canelo's get past his opponent, that there will be a possibility that we could see a fantasy, which is definitely a dream matchup, even though there will be a substantial weight difference, right? Because Canelo fights at 168, Crawford fights at 147. So there's a 21-pound weight advantage there, which is very important when it comes to boxing. Now, this has not advanced past the he said, she said point, but there does seem to be a possibility that we could see this fight in the next couple of years. What do you think about this story coming out? What do you think about the possibilities of this fight actually happening? And shall the fight happen? Give us your early, way early club banger that you think would come from this matchup. By the way, let me give a quick update on some notes here. Although they're 21 pounds apart, Bud actually is 5'8", so they stand the same height, and Bud has a 3+ reach advantage. Terrence Crawford has stopped 31 of the past 40% opponents, and has a higher KO percentage than Alvarez. Alvarez has stopped 39 of 59 KOs since 2005 when he fought the aforementioned Floyd Mayweather. So, my friend, what do you think about this story and this possible fight?
Well, for starters, I believe Al Heyman offered Canelo $55 million for like a 3-fight deal per fight. I believe it's going to be Crawford, Benavidez, and don't know if Charlo's the other one to be part of that. But okay, all right. I was talking to my cousin about this, CJ, not too long ago, and I don't like the fight at all because Canelo was on the Breakfast Club, and his English has gotten way better. I'm shout out to him for learning English, but you got to understand something. So I'm 6'2". I weigh 200 and don't worry about it. And I have a friend whose son-in-law fights Muay Thai. This guy's 6'3" and fought at 150 not too long ago. He's taller than me, but I'm bigger. I got more mass. So, not saying I whip his ass or anything like that. I'm just saying the difference. Bud and Canelo, they might be the same height, but Canelo fights at 168. Bud fights at 147. If Bud walks around regularly, he might be might just been came from 135, 140, fought all those weight classes. He's a small guy. He's just a smaller dude. I don't see him putting on enough mass to withstand a fight with Canelo. It just, unless Canelo comes down to 160. I mean, I'm sorry. Yeah, 160. I do not. I like Bud. Like Canelo might just let him go to like round 4 or 5 or 6 and then do what he has to do to get him up out of there. And mind you, Bud is older. Bud will be 36, I believe, in October or November. He's 35 right now. So he's older than Canelo, believe it or not. It's like Jaime Munguia. This guy's been fighting forever. That's how a lot of Mexican fighters do. They'll fight constantly. They're active at a young age. And then when they get to their 30s, they've already had that experience. I don't feel this would just be a money grab. You know what I'm saying? There's no point for this fight to happen. I love Bud, but he doesn't have a chance with Canelo. He's just not. His power will not resonate all the way up to 168. It's not going to happen unless they drain Canelo down. But Canelo's not getting drained. Remind you, Canelo, when he fought Mayweather, Mayweather said take 2 more pounds off to 152 instead of 154 when they fought, and Canelo could barely make that weight. So there's no way. I don't see Canelo. He already said he's not going to move down in weight. Now, something, club caveat, if something happens where Canelo says, hey, I'll fight you at 164, 160, I kind of give Crawford a chance. But Canelo's the king of rehydration clauses and things of that nature, even with guys like Rocky Fielding. Dudes he shouldn't give a rehydration clause at all with. He's done that. So I don't feel Crawford has a chance. I'm sorry. I don't care.
Wow.
It's not going to happen.
Wow. And so, you know what? I was actually reading a story on this after I heard the news came out. And a boxing trainer, I don't remember the name of the guy, but he said pretty much the same exact thing you did. He said, unless Crawford were to get Canelo to come down to, like you said, 150, whatever, 160, whatever it would be, that Crawford wouldn't stand much of a chance, even though, Canelo isn't necessarily a power puncher. He has enough power and enough body and build, reckless, at that size to be able to take care of Crawford. So basically, he said essentially the same thing. If Crawford doesn't get him to move down, he didn't think Crawford had a chance, and it would be more about money. So a famous boxing trainer said the same thing, agrees with you essentially. I kind of think a little bit different about this. Yes, I do realize there's a 21-pound weight difference. Yes, I realize that makes a huge difference in boxing. But with the reach advantage, with the height being the same, with his defensive-minded boxing ability, I could see Crawford putting up more of a fight than people are giving him credit for. A lot of people don't think he would stand a chance. I actually think he could. Would he knock him out? I don't think so, but I could definitely see him taking it in the distance, right? So, I mean, again, that's just my opinion. I'm not the expert.
I put it like this. I trust me, I'm with you. I want that to happen if it would happen, but you got to understand, if they fight, Crawford might come in at 170 fight day, 172 maybe. Who knows? Because, mind you, he's come from 135, fighting at 147. Canelo, he's fought at light heavyweight. He wanted to fight at cruiserweight. He's one. He gets down to 168. But if a man walks around during fight day at 180, 190, fighting somebody who just may be like Israel Adesanya when he fought Jan Blachowicz. He could do nothing with Jan Blachowicz. You couldn't get him up off him. What's going to stop Canelo from just charging at Crawford and his punches do nothing to him? You know, it's just not. It just wouldn't work in my opinion. And there's only a few times where that's happened where I feel like Charlo has a good chance against Canelo because Charlo has a good frame. He's a bigger dude. He has big, broad shoulders. He's a bigger guy, but he can get down to 154. He's a freak athlete. So that's why I say Charlo has a better chance against Canelo at 168 moving up. Crawford, on the other hand, they're the same height. So I just don't, there's so much mass you can put on your body to compensate for that and muscle. So I feel like, it is what it is. And would he come down to 169? No, that's he fights at 168, Flo. And first of all, okay, you're muted. I feel like 298 or 295 Flo put for my weight class. Look here, sir. Don't worry about that. Don't worry about that, all right? That's between me and upstairs, so worry about what my weight is. All I know is that
got him.
all I know is that random sound effects coming in. Random sound effects. I love it. All I know is that my weight is between my confidant for the night, and that's it. Okay. How dare you?
I like it.
But yeah, back to the fight. I honestly think that Canelo will just win. He would be too big for Crawford. Pause if needed. I just think he's too big for him. And I like Crawford.
And so what are the possibilities of this fight? Can you give us a percentage on this fight actually happening in real life?
Since they're talking about it, I will give this a higher percentage than Jake Paul versus Canelo. So I would give this 35%. 35%.
Hey, I like it.
Mayweather. When Mayweather fought Conor McGregor, when we were down in Tampa, when you and my brother put the fist up, when Mayweather came out, and everybody else was acting like they weren't American and they thought they were Irish for some weird reason. I don't know why we act like we're patriotic. Larry was there too, and Dale.
Racist.
Yeah, like what? I don't understand. So are we not American? But depending what color you are. But Mayweather played with Conor. Paul. Wow. Mayweather.
Wow.
Yes,
super reckless.
That was reckless right there. Mayweather allowed Conor to get to the 10th round. So anyone that knows boxing knows that. He didn't like Conor. Oh, we got a punch. Oh, look at. He allowed him to do that. So I think not to that extent, but something similar to that will happen in this fight. That's how I feel.
I'm listening to you. I'm just trying to get my mom came in. I'm going to show her on here if I can in a second. All right,
Maria.
I'll bring her on in a second. So all right, moving on to the next question. Then thank you for that awesome analysis of that potential fight. I really hope it happens. Since we are in Puerto Rico, we have a question from Boricua Coqui, and the question is: for the first time since 2007, 2 women fighters will be in the ring for a title fight just as long as their male counterparts. When undisputed featherweight champion and Boricua, wepa, Amanda, my mom is cracking up at me right now. Amanda Serrano is defending her WBA, IBF, WBO belts against Danila Ramos on October 27th in Orlando. But the big news about this and the reason why it's so important and impactful is that these 2 ladies will be fighting in official 12 rounds, 3-minute rounds.
I love it.
So for those of you that don't know, usually women fight 10 rounds, 2 minutes. Males are 12 rounds, 3 minutes. Women do not get the respect that they deserve in terms of not people thinking that they can't, their stamina isn't there, or they can't fight that long, or one of the guys, the promoter said he wouldn't endorse it because of the fact that it's a safety issue. What does that even? Shut up. That doesn't even make any sense. Anyways, so this is really huge in women's boxing. Serrano is totally all about this fight. My friend, I know you like Amanda as well. What do you think about this huge impact to women's boxing?
I love it. I'm a big fan of Amanda Serrano. If I said it wrong, right? It's okay. I'll text her later. She won't answer. But I'm glad they're fighting just like men, okay? Because it's the stigma of, oh, women have to be different. Women can't do the same thing as men. Well, this is proving it. They can do the same thing. Yes, give them 12 rounds. Give them 3 minutes, okay? The cream will what did Macho Man say? The cream will always rise to the top. Is that or something like that? Yeah. So Macho, there's a shirt like that. Macho Man says that. So we will separate what women can hang, what women can't hang with this. Okay. All the fighters from Clarissa Shields, on down to Amanda Serrano, even Katie Taylor, all of them want 3-minute rounds. They want to fight like the men. They don't want to hear no excuses. Oh, well, we're women. We can't do that. No, they're not part of that. Okay. The women should have the same as men. It should be equal. It doesn't matter. This is combat sports. This is putting your fist to someone's face, okay? Either with a glove or no glove, all right? So they should be able to act accordingly, just like the rules go. You know what I'm saying? So no special favors for them. And they don't want special favors. These are fighters, okay? These are apex predators. So I'm all for them fighting, okay? And I wish that Serrano was going to fight Bumgarner for the belt, but Bumgarner, she got caught with the PED. So they're still trying to figure that out. Hopefully she didn't use those because she's a hell of a fighter and she doesn't need those. And next time I'm in Detroit, call me, but that's whatever. But yeah, so she's gonna fight Campos. And yeah, I'm all for it, Omar. I see you move locations. You're muted, buddy.
I had to come back inside because I was looking real dark and you couldn't see me anymore.
Derek showed up.
I was about to say I was starting to look like your brother for a second. Irresponsible, racist black joke that my mom just said "wow" at in the background.
She loves it. It's okay. She knows.
Mom,
her.
Come here. Hey, he knows we're joking. Everybody, this is my wonderful, lovely mother.
Looking lovely. Look at that dress. Okay, Miss Maria, look at you.
Yeah, she said she's going to take me out to some place where I can meet some lovely ladies this evening. So we'll see.
It's probably that courtyard in Caguas, right in that courtyard. There's a lot of bars and clubs right there.
Caguas, where they have the Friday night thing that we usually go to.
But we're not going to Caguas. So
no, I know. No, we're staying in San Juan.
Man.
San Juan tonight. Maybe next week.
Oh, man.
All right. Thank you. That's my beautiful mother. Thank you, Mom. All right. Sounds good. Let's move on to the last question of the night. This is more of a question. It actually came from me. I'm not gonna lie. I'm not even gonna make up a name. Junior Dos Santos fought Fabricio Werdum in a bare knuckle fight. He beat him in a fight of two former UFC heavyweight champions. Dos Santos opened up a bad cut over the top of Werdum's eyes. En route to Werdum. Thank you. En route to a split decision victory. 30-27, 30-27, 29-28, or 28-29. And this was part of Jorge Masvidal's game-bred bare-knuckle MMA fight promotion. So you've talked a lot about him before and this fight promotion coming up. He's obviously starting to get bigger. These cards are starting to get better and more names on them. Is this the next hot iteration of MMA, boxing, fighting, combat sports?
So this was interesting. I saw some of the highlights of it, saw some of the fights. And I don't know how I feel about it. I bare knuckle fighting, it's straight using the knuckles to the face, a lot of cuts, a lot of stoppages, or just people getting knocked out. This type of fighting is interesting because it's literally there's no gloves, so you got full range of hand motion and can take someone down if needed. I don't know if it'll be the next big thing, like bare knuckle fighting, but I think it'll be for people that aren't that as great as a stand-up and they're more wrestlers or jiu-jitsu practitioners. They can go to this instead of bare knuckle fighting after their contracts with UFC or PFL or Bellator expire. I thought it was pretty neat. I kind of liked it because I believe Junior Dos Santos, he fought in bare knuckle before, but he had a dislocated shoulder, so he couldn't continue to fight. It just brings another wrinkle to the whole construct of MMA. And I know Werdum was like he wanted to do it Vale Judo style, which is the Brazilian style with Vanderlei Silva and Vitor Belfort. They championed back in the day before they got their UFC and Pride contracts, but that's more like Brazilian, like shoot fighting where you're barehanded. It's old school and not as like in Japan they do pancreas, which I could be saying it wrong, but it's like more open hand strikes. You know what I'm saying? But you still have the wrestling jiu-jitsu aspect. But I actually it's interesting. I like it. I'd watch more. I'd watch it again because, you know, it's like basically take bare knuckle fighting, but yeah, you can grab somebody, take them down, do a submission, ground and pound, things of that nature. And, you know, you could punch somebody with gloves. It might mess you up a little bit. If you got Vaseline, you're fine. But there's nothing against these knuckles. Trust me. You put this knuckle to the face, you're going to get cut up. And if you look at the fight highlights, Verdum was gash. He looked terrible. While Dos Santos looked pretty. He looked like he didn't get into a fight at all. So depending on who you fight, it gives the grapplers and the Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu guys a chance at bare knuckle fighting. So it's not bad.
Wow. Okay. Yeah. No, I would never do it. I mean, you know, that's just wild. That's just wild. I mean, at least they're getting paid for it, but just to get punched in the face with no gloves on, it just doesn't seem fun.
No.
But hey, there's some people out there that are a lot tougher than I choose to be for money. So hey, that being said, old school. Also, I want to just bring this up because I think you were at this fight in 2008 when they last fought in UFC.
Yeah. Yeah, they I mean, it's just like a rematch, kind of like a grudge fight thing. But Masvidal, I think he does his fight under the UFC banner. I think his company is affiliated with the UFC Fight Pass. So, you know, all those ties with Dos Santos and Trump, you know, he's done all that stuff with Dana White over in Florida. So, you know, he's marketed himself well moving forward. But yeah, I think the LFA, was it LFA? Yeah, LFA, that's another fighting league under UFC. It reminds me of Vince McMahon. Okay, Vince McMahon Sr., what he did was buy up all the territory wrestling organizations and then bring his own. So that's what Dana White did with a lot of regional companies. So he just like bought them and say, hey, if you want to watch it, you can watch it on our Fight Pass. You know, he's going to build it up to where you can order it as pay-per-view. That's my assumption of what Dana White's going to do. And one little sidebar. So the company that bought WWE, bought UFC, same thing. And
Endeavor,
there you go. And then now they're, I think, a Saudi group. And now they're, for UFC fighters, if you have like a YouTube channel or something like that, they want a piece of that. Just like they did in WWE fighters.
Wow. Man, they just keep their grubby hands in everything, don't they? Dana just stays trying, dude.
Hard to be an independent contractor out there. And no health insurance. None.
Horrible. All right. Well, we thank you all very, very much for joining us as always. It's your man, Clubber D, the Combat G, our UFC and combat sports insider. And for yours truly, Omar, the sports professor Fonseca, we thank you for joining us this evening. Please, again, if you're watching us on YouTube, go ahead and smash that subscribe button, as the kids say. Also, follow us on IG and on Twitter at Ball and Buds, BALLANDBUDS. Also, go subscribe, go join on Facebook, the Bottom Line Sports Facebook group. Again, we have an amazing time in there talking sports and talking trash to each other. So come join the conversation and have some fun. And last but not least, make sure you catch the Bottom Line Sports. We will have our inaugural Week 1 NFL episode with the new 4 crew, Flo, Canteen, and Hot Take Jake. So catch us tomorrow night. My man, Hot Take. Catch us tomorrow night, 7 p.m. Eastern. Oh, wait. Yes, 7 p.m. Eastern. Right after the day games are done and before the night game comes on, come and check us out. We'll have the recap of all the games and we'll preview the night game. So don't go to ESPN. Don't go to Fox Sports. You come here and you come see the Bottom Line and get the true facts and stories about the games that you're going to see tomorrow, because NFL is back, baby. NFL is back. Let's go.
And just a caveat on that. This is not a clever caveat. This is a Ball and Buds caveat. If you add us on YouTube and then you add us on IG and you prove that you've done both, Omar himself will give you a personal shout out at the next video.
Woo, I love that idea. So you heard it there from Clubber D. Go ahead and subscribe on YouTube, follow on IG, and let us know you did that. And if you did, I will give you a personal shout out on our next episode, which again, remember folks, Clubber D and I will be back with you September 30th. to preview the Canelo Charlo fight for a special edition of Ball and Buds Combat Sports Live. That being said, my friend, please help us to sign off.
You know what I'm saying? Appreciate you joining. Anybody who's new, thank you. If you're old, I love you. Second, third, to the Bottom Line Sports. You know, I pop in sometimes. Y'all need to tune in because Clubber D he weaves his way in there and Flo made my own music for me. So
the
if
wolf,
you want to see me, the wolf is always lurking. Okay, a wolf could be in sheep's clothing, a wolf could lead the pack, and a wolf could be part of the pack. So I'm everywhere. You know what I'm saying? It's one of those things. But you know what I'm saying? Please tune in. If you haven't tuned in, don't tune in later and be mad that you didn't get my club banger and be like, oh man, I was going to bet, but I didn't know. But now you know. Don't ask, hey, Club D, when you coming on? If you subscribe, you would already know. Hey, Club, who you going to pick? If you subscribe, you already know. Subscribe, get in the know, be part of the family, okay?
Yeah.
We're a family out here. I love you like a play cousin, okay? But for anybody out there, if you have any hater, if you have anyone that doubts you, anyone that doesn't like what you're doing, brush them off. Because remember, when they hate on you, they're typing with dirty fingernails, okay? Because they're dusty. Okay, you're doing something good because you're pure. But hey, that's what we do here.
Flo also says, Clubber D, your 49ers are in trouble tomorrow.
Who said that, Flo?
Yes. That was
Flo. I mean, that's irrelevant. So, anyways, but yeah. I mean, the 49ers are in trouble. If we're so much in trouble, then why are you trading for a backup quarterback? So who's really in trouble? Is Dak in trouble or are we in trouble?
Sucker.
Worry about Miami and Texas Tech right now. Let's be clear. Flo, love you like a play cousin.
Because they ain't making the top 10. That's for damn sure.
Not at all.
That's it, y'all. We love you. Thank you again, Clubber D and myself. We love you and thank you, and we will see you next time. Peace.
That's right. I'm looking for the haters. I can't see them. Looking for them.